Hello folks, it's the 8th of May and I hope that this clip is the third time of trying. I think I've got some problem with this memory card. It's just said there wasn't enough space on the card, but I deleted a load of stuff off of it and it still said there's no space, so I guess that one had its chips. Hey, thanks for joining us folks. What I'm doing is I'm just I threw these forms, I've got another 2 to trim, putting them down on the wheel head. So let's just get on with that. So just centering him up, press down, grab my trim tool. Let's bring that camera in, bring the picture in a bit for you. There we go, how's that? So always put a finger on the top there, and as you trim, bring your arm into your side, bring this arm in, so you compact your body form, you see. Don't have the wheel going too fast. Remember, speed kills. Okay, so sometimes when I'm doing this he comes off, you see. Well, it doesn't matter because it gives me an opportunity then just to eyeball the shape. Stay. So at this stage I'm trimming the sort of lower portion of the pot up, just up from the foot here, and basically the rest of the shape I already got that right when I threw it. It's just the last bit at the base here to trim, you see. So I'm narrowing the foot a little bit, taking away some of the clay here on the side. So looking for a good shape. A nice balanced shape, you know. I'm noticing that the tool is picking up on some of the bits of grog in the clay body there. You probably can't see that from here, but yeah, there are some lines around here. There's not much you can do about that. Sometimes as I'm cutting it though, I'll change the angle of the tool like that, you see, as I'm making this cut. I will change the angle like that. And you need to experiment, you know, as you get a bit more proficient. at trimming about the way that you hold your trim tool, and also the different angles will give you a slightly different result, and the tool will cut differently. So bear that in mind. Keeping a finger in the middle here to keep the pot, because you see it's only a fairly narrow top that is attached to the wheel head, so I'm applying pressure here, the pot could tip away. So by keeping your finger here, you keep it more secure. Okay. I'm going to, let's bring the camera to a different position here. We may have to go up a touch. So you get a bit more of a top view. Yeah, there for example, like that. Stay. Let's see if we can do a little bit of carving out of the foot ring. I don't actually have a lot to spare in terms of clay here, so I'm not going to be able to carve it out very much. So what I usually do is make a mark . The clay is squeaky under the pressure of my finger. Now if you have a situation, for example, like I have here, and you wanted to trim out the foot ring, but you made a mistake of not allowing enough clay, what you can do before you do this trimming is push it down in the middle here, you see. So it's going down like that, which will mean that it will dome up a little bit on the bottom when you look down from the inside. Well, on this kind of pot that doesn't matter, because this is not really a functional pot, it's more of a one-off kind of pot. But by doing that, by pushing the bottom down and then carving, you'll be able to gain a bit of extra depth without cutting through the base. Maybe you've... Oh, it came off. Maybe you've cut through the base of your pots before. I certainly have. I don't do it very often, but I do it. I sometimes do it. It just can happen. You know, it just takes you by surprise. You thought you had enough thickness, but in fact you didn't. What you can do is you can tap and give you some idea of the let's just refocus that camera. Refocus him. Otherwise we're going to be... Okay, so there's that one. I've done another one which I did before, which is this guy. So I'm looking to see for a very balanced form here. Protruding belly here, coming outwards, but also coming inwards, you see. So there's a feeling of balance there. So there's those two done. And let's see if we can do another one quickly. I've got some more here, they're a little softer actually, these. These are, and I know you're going to ask, Simon, what weight of clay did you... I think these are like 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds, something like that. I forget exactly. Now, okay, so here's a pot. We need to perhaps feel the pot right at this stage, feel the thickness through the base, okay? That's good advice. Good advice. So, get him in the center. If you're not sure he's in the center, you can hold a fixed point like this, and it'll give you some idea. Bearing in mind that he may not be in the center here, but he may be here, or vice versa. Often a pot, you know, the bottom is not completely concentric with the rest of the pot, so you've got to sort of just bear that in mind. Okay, some downward pressure. Always a finger in the middle there. Get your body compact. And on a wheel like I'm using here, the treadle wheel, I take my legs, and I squeeze them into the side of the box, you see. Dee, 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 dee. See how I'm trimming with this hand in the middle, but I'm using my thumb to brace across. Okay, so this hand is not independent. Otherwise, you want to always brace across if you can, like I'm doing. You see, it gives you a better stance, if you know what I mean. La 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 la. Now, when you're doing a trimming of a broader area, like you see here, you can use. In fact, I don't know if this is sharp enough, but just you're throwing my regular throwing stick, I can. I can use it to trim, but because the edge of it is rather blunt when you compare it with this kind of tool, it doesn't bring up the grog to the surface, and it cuts the clay, but it at the same time it kind of compresses the clay. Whereas this kind of tool, it rakes up every little piece of grog, doesn't it, to the surface. And as it goes round, it makes these lines. Well, whereas a throwing stick like this doesn't do that, you see, because the edge is not so sharp. So it doesn't catch on the pieces of grog. Okay, so he's come off the wheel. That gives me a chance to have another eyeball him again. Tap center. Okay. You just got to learn to do tap centering. It'll come if you practice it. You see, this is, you see how that's taking the clay off, and really the edge is not a rounded edge on my throwing sticks, I have to say. It is a kind of bit of a flatter edge than some. Okay. You want to come off, do you? Yes, he says, look at me, look at me. Check me out. See, when I'm looking at a shape like this, a form like this, and I look down the side like the pot like this, I'm looking for high spots, you see. So I mean, I basically got the form right when I threw it, but I'm fine-tuning it. And so when I see high spots, it's like when you look to the horizon, you know, you look out to the horizon, you see the hills, and you see high spots, don't you? And you see low spots. So where you see a bit of a mountain sticking up, you've got to trim that down. See, now I'm using the side of my trim tool, the side of it. Ooh. Wants to be looked at again. So, high spot here, sloping away, looking for a nice feel here, you see. A bit of gentle but firm downward pressure. Emptying out the foot ring here. You know, you could argue, well, what's the point of emptying out the foot ring? What's the point of emptying out the foot ring, Simon? Because, you know, well, it's just one of those things. You know, certain pots you want to, you want to do that too, because it's the bottom of the pot is also part of the pot, you know, and it's a decorative. It's a slightly decorative feature. He's not wanting to stick now for some reason. think the clay on the rim down there is not as soft as it could be. So there it is. Another one bites the dust. So when you've done that, you see, put him back on the wheel like this, and where he was dancing on the rim here before, just may even want to just take your trim tool and just clean it a bit there, just while it was. Now another way of doing a pot like this is actually to put it into a chuck. That's another way of doing it. You see where it would sit. It would sit here kind of thing in the chuck. Or it would be held there, I should say. Okay folks, that's it. He's not heavy, he's good weight. Good weight that. So, trimmed foot. We've trimmed it here at the base, and so he's done. I've got one more to do actually. One more. There are those guys. So, thanks for joining us, and this next Tuesday I am at Tyler School of Art in Philadelphia, along with Tomu Hamada, grandson of Shoji Hamada, great Japanese potter. He and I are doing like a one-day demo there. So get in touch with the, what's it called, if you're interested in that, if they've got room, I don't know. I think it's the Clay Studio is the workshop. That's the workshop that's organised it, but they've had to change venue to the Tyler School of Art. So that's this coming Tuesday, 12th of May. Apart from that, I'm here in Milheim. I'm trying to make pots. I'm trying to find my kiln and get a bit of stock up, you know. So that's that. Yeah, visit my Etsy shop on my website. We're putting more stuff up there, so please go there, have a look. And if it's something that you like, then make a purchase. We like that even better. Hey, thanks a lot folks. Take care. Don't forget, keep practicing. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.